Again, I like the episode, but if you look at the basic formula, the same thing happened, except there's an actual reward challenge and no Island of Idols. That is hilarious. How it's just the same thing kind of over and over again. But, those were nice challenges. And that immunity challenge, I actually was beginning to think, hey, maybe Orange is going to be able to catch up, but, Loki was able to, get it. I keep wanting to say Loki. This is not the Marvel Universe, come on, right, but they ended up getting there, which I was kind of glad, because I didn't want them to lose that lead, although Dean, yeah, he almost had it. Right. So I'm really glad that we don't have three tribes. It's nice to see two tribes again for once, and I wouldn't be too surprised if this is the only swap that they do, because traditionally there's only going to be two more boots before the merge. And okay, they have done swaps after 2 rounds before, but that's usually the very first swap, not leading into the third swap. So I'd hope that that doesn't happen. Let's keep this a little bit more simpler, and I'd wager that they are because of the Island of Idols business. And you can tell that they wanted these tribes more or less evenly distributed, because, Jeff had 2 things with covered buffs, and he puts one out to the low Kai members that are to his left, but he's on their right. After half the tribe picks, you could see him deliberately shift his position so the other guys would take from the other one. And it wasn't because they were closer to that. They wanted this to happen. So if I genuinely think that had this season gone 2-2 and immunity wins, Jeff would have done his best to make sure that each tribe got 4 from a specific thing. There is the possibility that not all the covered buffs were the same color in each thingy-majig, but it wouldn't surprise me, because you remember San Juan del Sur? He threw a specific bag to each tribe, and each tribe had half as many buffs in there. So it's just kind of odd how they keep changing it from fixed to random draw, then going back to pretty much fixed. There is the possibility that this wasn't as fixed as like San Juan del Sur, but it sort of appears to be that way. Not that I'm complaining, because the way things are set up on Lokai, if they lose a challenge, that's going to be interesting. Orange losing the challenge wasn't interesting, it was just who, not the what. And it's nice to get that question answered, that next tribal council actually means next tribal you attend. But coincidentally, like with Ghost Island, no, there's no reason to pull out that vote, which I think is something that the show is deliberately trying to do. But had this been like 4 votes Tom, 3 votes Karishma, I seriously wonder if they would have pulled the no vote out second to last or as the last vote. That would be interesting. But Jeff has a habit of trying to make sure everything does get shown, although when Shane was voted out in Exile Island, they oddly didn't show his vote for Danielle, which is one of the only times that has ever happened after the first couple seasons, because I think there were a couple of examples there that he didn't pull out every vote that could have been pulled. Let's see here. Is there anything else to mention? Dean and Kelly connection? We've had a couple of instances that are similar to that because Malchus and Crystal and Gaboon had a mutual, well, not mutual friend because Malchus's friend was Crystal's cousin. We've seen this happen. Them voting out Tom, that was a little surprising because that was the in-between scenario. Because I thought for sure it would be Dean or Karishma. I keep wanting to say Charisma. But I guess there was a certain merit to choosing Tom over Dean, which I think is kind of odd because Tom, from my perspective, seemed to be much easier to figure out compared to Dean. Maybe they got a different read on Dean there, who knows? I'm a little bit bummed to see him go because he was definitely playing it, but hey, worked out bad for him on the swap. We've seen this 100 times. Because, you know how everyone says 1,000 times, it rarely ever works out that way. I mean, like, do you know how many days it takes to get to like 1,000 hours? That's a little bit more than you'd think, right? Actually, doing the math, I think it's like 44 and a half. Shoot myself in the foot, right. Yeah, not that much else to mention. So this season's getting better in my mind, but the merge could easily send it taking because I really enjoyed the merge for Edge of Extinction and reasonably enjoyed it for David vs. Goliath, but then the merge sent the tone for the season and the edit for David vs. Goliath in a totally different direction. Let's see.